Hi, this is Kevin from Appland, and I'm going to step through quickly a debugging flow using AppMap with a Ruby application. I'm starting here in VS Code with the AppMap extension installed, and I'll be using that extension to grab a trace of the bug and then step through it and figure it out. The application I'm using here is the Rails sample app, 6th edition. It's like a Twitter clone. And here's an odd thing that we noticed about it, which is that even when you're not logged in, you can see the feed of any user. Let me show you how it works. Right now I'm logged in as an example user, and if I go to the users list, I can browse through all the users. For example, user 19. Now if I go back to my homepage and I log out, you can see that the users link is gone, and if I go access that manually, it redirects me back to the login page. But if I go over here and refresh the user page, I can actually still see it. So it looks to me like the behavior of this application should be that login is required to see a user page, since login is required to list the users. So in order to capture this bug and fix it, I'll go over here to the AppMap view, which I clicked over here in the sidebar. Then I'll go up to the record button and pick localhost 3000, which is the URL of my app. So the first thing I'm going to do is just refresh this page and go back here and finish this recording, which is going to be called View the User Page While Logged Out. And that captured me in AppMap. Let me pop back here and get another one, since I want to know what login looks like. I'll log in, and now I'll get my second AppMap, same URL, go over here, list the users page. I know that login is required for this page, and stop that. And I'll say list the users while logged in. So the next thing I want to do is actually dig into these app maps and see what's the difference between get the users route, which required login, and get the user display, get the user details without logging in. So let me clear this and go back to the default view here. And a couple of things pop out at me. One is that I'm going to look down the list of labels here for labels that are, security related or login related. So I can see 2 authentication events here, which seem significant, and security.require login. Those are a couple different places in the code which seem likely to be requiring the user to log in. So I can click on one of those methods, dive over here to the trace view, which also shows it shows all the function calls in a tree construction according to how they were called. And I can also click over into the source code here. Let me hide this view. So the job of the logged in user function is, unless the user's logged in, store the location, put some data in the flash, and then redirect to the login page. That seems like pretty reasonable behavior for a logged in user function. Now I just want to find out where that came from, and if I step up to the parent, I can see this is labeled as before action. So this is a before hook, or a before action from the controller, and down here is the controller method, users controller index. If I step over into the source code, I can see the logged in user function is configured as a before action for index, edit, update, destroy, following, and followers, but not show. This is the show method, which my hunch tells me that is the method that showed the user. So let me step over to this other app map and dig through that. So if I think it's show, I'll type that in the search box, pop over here to the users controller show, which does in fact appear in this app map trace. This is everything that happens in before actions for this method. If I clear and go back here, maybe, I see before actions, but I don't see anything about, security or require login, which makes sense based on the behavior that I just saw in the other app map. So let me pop back here again. I can see that the user's controller show method is in fact used to view the user details. That once that happens, then the code continues stepping through these templates, which is the user details template. So that makes sense too. So following up on my previous lead, let me step over here again and add the show method to logged in user. I will flip back here, log out, and then go back here to the users page. If I refresh this page, I am redirected to the login page. So the user details is now protected by login. I would follow up this fix with a test case, and I'll put a link in the video description to show you a longer flow where I actually go through that process of creating and modifying test cases to match the new behavior, and then push app maps of those up to along with my pull request so that I can demonstrate to the code reviewer what the fix is that I made and how it works. But that's the end of this video. I've grabbed a couple of app maps, compared them, used them to figure out what the correct behavior should be, implemented that behavior, and it appears to be working in the UI. So that's all for now. See you next time.